under the stars, I see hope in every life. My fears can hide it, can hide it. We're worlds apart, we're naked. I sat with you and waited out the night. 'Cause when the lights go out and I'm all alone, and I feel like there's nowhere to turn, I will close my eyes and I'll think of you. 'Cause you are every beat, yeah, you are every beat of my heart. From the sound of your words, now silence once left, and it's my crowded mind that pleads. We were stretching time, still seem like a minute. We're worlds apart, we're naked. I sat with you and waited out the night. 'Cause when the lights go out and I'm all alone, and I feel like there's nowhere to turn, I will close my eyes and I'll think of you. 'Cause you are every beat, yeah, you are every beat of my heart. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all.
Miccoli, go out to our website, www.avradio.org. And go to the artist Miccoli, go out to our website, www.avradio.org. And go to the artist spotlight of the week. You can check them out. Read their bio. How impressive it is. If you click on their photograph, by the way, it will take you to their preferred site. But here's what's preferred. If you're tuned in right now, you get to join me and the rest of the world, Adriano and Alex from Miccoli. It is. If you click on their photograph, by the way, it will take you to their preferred site. But here's what's preferred. If you're tuned in right now, you get to join me and the rest of the world, Adriano and Alex from Miccoli, joining me live from London, England. Hi, guys. How are you?
Hello, Stephen, how's it going? Been over here. How's it going?
Yeah, we're going good. So, you know, we were talking off air. It's almost been 2 years when you guys were first joined me.
I know, I can't believe it. I mean, time flies so fast. It's crazy. Yeah, we couldn't believe how fast it's gone, to be honest. Yeah, it only feels like yesterday since we were chatting with yourself. So yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, real quick, just so people, even though you guys, I'm talking to my listeners, if you don't know, they are twins, so they don't only look alike, they sound alike. So if you guys would introduce yourself, so maybe people could understand the distinction between you two.
Do you want me to pitch my voice a bit higher? So
I'll pitch your voice a bit higher. That'd be
No, I'm just there. Yeah. I'm Adriano, and I sound like I'm Alessandro, and I sound like this. If it's any clearer.
No, it's not. But it's all.
No.
Wow, you know, we've been talking, like I said, and playing you, promoting you guys nonstop. We've not stopped promoting you since we're on the station almost 2 years ago. But there's been a lot going on with you. Yeah. You know, I'm really, first of all, congratulations on your new EP, One Half, that came out in May. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. It's a collection of songs really that we've had for a while, and we just thought, you know, it's time to release something now because we haven't released anything for about 2 years. We only did one EP before that, but we weren't happy with it, so we took it down as most artists who are just perfectionists do. So we've got our first EP now. So it's got a mixture of acoustics on there and some more up-tempo songs like Idle Stranger and Lights, I think. So I mean, it's called Half as well because it kind of signifies a point of we've got halfway through basically finishing off the album, so we're pretty much there now. So that's why it's called Half as well, if it's people were wondering.
Yeah, because your LP is coming out hopefully this October, right? Tell us about that.
That's right. I mean, similar to with the EP, really, it's a collection of songs that we've been working over really for the past 3 years. Basically finding our sound, fine-tuning everything, the production side of it, and rewrites and everything else. And we've got to a point now where we're really happy with the finished sound, and we've just got to
we can't wait to share it with everybody, basically, and share it with you guys on American Veterans Radio, so to release and getting it out there finally.
We tested a few songs. As I said, we've released Stardust Stranger already and Lights and Undo, and the response has been really good. So as Adriano said, we just can't wait to share the rest of it now. We've got about 15 songs on there. The title of the LP is called Arrhythmia. So that's kind of, it took us a while to think of a title, but it kind of seemed to fit. If anybody doesn't know what arrhythmia stands for, it means half beat or broken beat type of thing. So it just kind of summed up where we were with our personal journeys with illnesses with regards our heart conditions, and just in general, it's kind of a cool metaphor for life, really.
Yeah, with the ups and downs that everybody has. So
yeah.
You know, I got to ask you this question. I was reading some of the details. And your EP, and it may be your LP, but let's talk about your EP specifically, One Half. You actually did that in Malaysia. Can I ask why you went halfway around the world to do that?
I'll give you the short version of a long story. Basically, we're performing in, was it Oxford or Cambridge. I always get them two mixed up. We were playing in Cambridge, and we were approached by this rather eccentric Chinese man, and he was like, "Oh, really like your sound. I'd like you to come over and play for the King of Malaysia and our anniversary party." And we were like,
oh. I have to admit, I didn't even know where Malaysia was at that point.
No, wait a minute. You were asked out of the blue to go to perform for the King or the President of Malaysia.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. I mean, to start with, we just thought it was crazy.
Yeah.
And he gave us like a card, and he just said, "I'll give you a call." And we were like, "Yeah, sure, okay, whatever." And anyway, the next thing they flew not only us three, but they also flew the rest of our band that we were playing with at the time, like our session musicians, and also like my parents as well. So they flew everybody over to watch our performance, and it went on from there. Really, we developed a relationship. It developed into them being our sponsors for quite a few years, really, and we were going backwards and forwards, working with them on different projects and playing a lot of corporate venues and corporate shows for them as well, and other dignitaries, which I can't even remember who some of the people were, but it was crazy, and we learned a lot really there, didn't we?
We did learn just how to speak to some of these people as well, because we're simple folk, so hanging out with some of these people like heads of Toyotas and, the Prime Minister of Malaysia. Was he the Prime Minister? Was the King?
I think it was the King. I can never remember. They have the King, don't they?
Well, here's my question. You know, because I'm kind of like you. I'm just kind of, simple folk. I mean, I just go to work, day in and day out. And all of a sudden, okay, you just told me a story that you had this Chinese guy's a little eccentric. Oh, yeah, okay, thank you, appreciate it. And then all of a sudden, okay, thank you, appreciate it. And then all of a sudden, because you've been around now, you guys have been performing together, officially on record about 4 or 5 years. And all of a sudden, you say, okay, this is this little eccentric guy. Maybe he lived up to his word. You're thrown in to royalty. Wrap your head around that.
To be honest with you, it was really surreal, especially it happened so fast as well, because we landed there, and they needed us to play pretty much. It was straight away. They needed an emergency performance, didn't they? For the one thing, it was like a surprise party we did. So we were really heavily jet lagged as well.
And also, it was on the top of a mountain, pretty much. I don't exaggerate, but it's a small island off Malaysia, so it's called Penang. And he has a house on the top of pretty much the highest point in this island. So you can't get to it obviously by foot or by car. It's got to be a jeep or a Ford. So we were to be driven up to this mountaintop location, and it's like you were playing in the clouds. Like you look over and all you could see was just clouds, and then way down below was the city. So,
and they'd also for the event as well, they'd also flown in these two guys from Harrods, England. So the Chinese guy is a big fan of shopping at Harrods, and it's a big department store if everyone doesn't know it in the UK. And basically he bought this, I think it was like 250 or 300 year old.
It was old.
It was really old brandy, basically.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so these two, with like white gloves on, holding this bottle of brandy that was ridiculously old.
Yeah, they'd been flown from the shop in the UK to present this brandy to the dignitaries and whoever was at the party. So we all had to line up in a row, and then we all had to hold our glasses out, and then they'd serve us this brandy. So Francesca, who likes a good drink,
she does like a tipple. She's not here to defend herself.
Yeah, that's right. You're going to be kind, be nice.
We all do, to be fair, so.
But they're all pouring this brandy out, and then it got to Francesca and they poured it in, and we all had to wait for the tasting, and then we all tasted it, and then Francesca goes, "Has anybody got any Coke?" And we just, I mean, it's just like 150-year-old brandy, and she's asking for Coke.
You're asking for a little mixer to go with it, right? So
yeah, exactly. She's like, I don't like brandy on its own. I need a mixer, basically. So it was just like, oh god, we
got through and they loved it.
They found it funny, but
okay.
They found it lots.
You know, if I recall, and I don't have this in front of me, but it's coming back to me. If I recall, when we talked last time, it was you guys were living in a van for a while. Right? So
that's right.
And so you go, and I don't keep bringing this Malaysia thing up because I mean that's wild. That's a crazy ride in itself. That's a roller coaster, is what that is.
Yeah, definitely.
But you know, you go from living in a van, and especially you guys, so we all know I got brothers and sisters as well. I mean, I get it. You got to get on each other's nerve. And so, you're doing all that, and the next thing you're up on a mountain in the clouds, literally in Malaysia.
Yeah.
And you're looking at your mom and your dad and your sister and your brother and the band members saying, wow, that is a hell of a ride right there. Just a short amount of time.
It was, I mean, as you said, it was from one extreme to another. Literally, we were going from cooking. We designed like a cooking unit in the van as well that we were living in. We used to open the sunroof and cook out the van. So
like, those camping gas stoves that you can buy, the ones with the little bunts,
like a propane kind of thing.
Yeah, propane. That's what I mean. Yeah, we had one of those, and you can cook. And we bought a wok, and you can cook anything in a wok. I defy anybody who doesn't say they can't cook anything in a wok, because you can. And we've just been going up and down the country, the whole of the UK, playing shopping centres. I came along and she was like, okay, none of this now. We just put straight into 5-star hotels, and we kind of had that type of lifestyle for the next 5 years onwards while we were signed with them. We as Adriano said, we were doing conventions that were paying us to play at all these exhibitions that they had, because it's actually Clarion's an actual car electronics stereo company, so they make all the electronics to go inside cars. And so they obviously had exhibitions on, and we're all over Asia. We kind of did, really, from Thailand to Indonesia, all over. So it was a real experience, and to that side of the country before. So it was kind of an eye-open, and it was a bit of a cultural shock, because we're kind of set in our ways, really. We're very westernised, and we like our cups of teas. So, to go over that side of the world was definitely an experience, but one we won't forget either.
Okay, you talk about experience. I mean, I also know you guys have been... You've been over here toward the States. What do you think about us compared to what you're used to, as you say, being routine?
I think you're pretty much the same. I have this time going though, for some reason, it really stuck out of me. The driving in LA seems to have got worse. Like, just going on a real trivial note, it just seemed the people seem to just seem, I don't know. It's in California especially, they're leading the way with the driverless cars, the autonomous cars.
Yeah.
But I'd look to my right sometimes, and people weren't even people. I saw one woman with her leg over the other side of the
dashboard.
Yeah, like dashboard. It was up in the air, and like her foot's nowhere near the brake.
Oh,
and they
Lord.
were just cruising along, and people just falling asleep at the wheel as well. I saw one guy nodding off.
Yeah, it became a bit more aware that that was, and also how big everything as well. Like, we've been to America a bunch of times, loads of times, but I don't know, for some reason we found it harder to like just cross the road this time. It took me like 10 minutes to cross the road, because we can walk any we don't have jaywalking in England. We can cross anywhere on the street, no matter where it is. But you've got to go down to the end of the light, haven't you?
Yes.
Over there. I learnt that the hard way in Vegas one time. So
nearly getting run over. So. But
Yeah.
as regards playing out there and mentality wise, it's pretty much like the UK. We love playing out there basically. That's what we can go.
Well, the thing about it is, first of all, I mean, if you go onto the East Coast or the West Coast, yes, I mean that's our own culture there. There's a whole bunch of us in between. You know, we're kind of Midwest.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a whole different story. Where I live, I can 20 miles away. I'm out in the middle, and there's nobody there. I mean, I'm walking, in the middle of nowhere. So, and they don't care if you jay.
I'm retiring everybody with the same brush in that one, but it's very much our experience when we've gone to like Los Angeles there. But it seemed a bit more difficult this time. Just getting about everywhere. The traffic seemed to intensify.
So we did make our way out of LA and then start to go further up the field and go into the deserts where we were filming.
Which was nice.
Yeah, for the video, and it just
less crowded.
Yeah, we filmed in Utah and then we filmed in Death Valley, and to get your head around the vastness of
how big everything is. How big everything is. It's just
it's crazy how much land there is. It goes on for miles and miles and miles.
Which brings me to my question, because you guys, I believe you recorded your video Lights in Las Vegas or Death Valley, right? One of the two.
That's right. Yeah, we did it in Vegas. It was basically any truth of the matter. No, we did the song, and when we were writing the song, when we came to think of that as the concept for the video as well, it kind of all just clicked that it had to be Vegas, that we had to do, it's called Lights, and there's probably no better place to get all the lights in, really. And that coupled with the fact that we really like Vegas, it was a no-brainer for us, really.
Now, was it you, Adriano, or was Alex? But anyway, I'm reading here, it says, one of you literally passed out in Death Valley when the temperature was 127 Fahrenheit. Which one of it was?
Yeah, so
that was
ironic. So we've got a new video that's coming out, and it's for our song Ledge, which is on the album. And we decided to go all out for this video. We needed, because of the lyrics, it's kind of very reflective of people being on their own, and but there's somebody there for you. So we thought, it'd be a cool. So we thought, it'd be a cool idea to go to Death Valley, and because it's in the middle of nowhere, and
just the vastness of it, really, and the sense of being completely alone out there as well.
Yeah, so it looked really powerful in a video. But we decided also to take, so we had to carry this door with us to into the sand dunes in Death Valley. And it was a task and a half, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really. We got there. We arrived quite late in Death Valley. In the evenings, driving, and we knew it was hot, but obviously the sun was down when we arrived, and it was really warm. It was, at 2:00 in the morning, it was something like 32, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's
32 degrees. I think it's about, is it 86?
Yeah,
89?
That sounds right. Yeah, right. That sounds right.
It was ridiculously warm anyway. And the next day we thought, well, let's go and do a few test shots out there. So we put all our gear on, got everything ready, and went out there with the door as well. And this is the stupid thing about it. I mean, we should know really, having spent so anywhere at the height of, the afternoon, 12 o'clock. You don't do it. It's just stupid. But we're so excited to get started and get out there. We just thought, we'll cope with it. We'll do it. We'll be fine. We get there, and there was a few brave souls out there as well. It wasn't just us. They're all venturing out with the cameras. But as we were getting the door set and ready, and I did notice a sign saying, after 11 o'clock, do not go on a hike, or do not even attempt to go out into the desert. I just ignored that sign as well.
It's called Death Valley, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
There's nothing stupid about it. I mean, we live and learn. I mean, my gosh, I was young once, and hey, I did crazy things like that. Let me ask you something though. You know, I've got like about 8 pages literally strung out in front of me of all the stuff you guys have done just since the last time we spoke, to be honest with you. But I didn't come across this last time. But I was looking at an interview that you guys did, I'm not sure where, anyway, it was this past January. And a question was asked, who's the greatest influence of your sound? And one of your answers was, or your answer was, and I'm quoting, if we had to pick key artists, one of you said, I had to pick key artists. One of you said, I guess vocally it would be Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah.
Expand on that.
Ever since we can remember, like, we'd always listen to, I know it sounds really cliche and most musicians or artists would say, but in our case it was true. We'd listen to our parents were playing records and my parents were big fans of Simon and Garfunkel. And from an early age, it was in our CD players, and we were just listening to them. And it wasn't till later on in life until we started to understand music more, on how accomplished they were as regards harmonies and arrangement when looking for other artists for inspiration in that area. And I think it was just because we always wanted to put harmonies and we were always singing together in that sense. But I think it was just purely like osmosis in that sense. We just kind of picked it up, and from them in a way, just listening to it so much. They're one of our top artists, and I don't think people people understand like how good they are, because they were massive in their day, and it's just, you literally do get 2 songs for one when you listen to some of their harmonies, and it's great musicianship.
And the melodies as well, beautiful melodies, aren't they? Yeah.
By the way, have you heard the version of Sound of Silence by the heavy metal group, I'm trying to think, Disturbed out of Chicago? If you haven't, you need to. And I'm not one of those fans who say, this is a cover and this is a heavy. They did this. Yeah, the Sound of Silence out of Chicago. Anyway, guys, wow. I just hope you will join me back again when you release your album in October. Okay. And maybe Francesca can join you as well at that time.
Yeah, definitely. She's really like to make, but she's at a play at the moment. She's in a play. Don't ask me what it's called. I can't remember. But she's in a play, and she's really enjoying it at the moment.
Yeah, she's doing that for 3 nights.
She's one of them. 3 nights she's doing it. So yeah.
Well, you guys hear she's playing about it.
She sends it anyway.
Oh, I love it. And thank you for letting us share you with the world. I mean, literally, it is just fantastic to hear your enthusiasm, to hear kind of behind the story kind of thing. I don't know if you guys remember, there used to be on, I think it was VH1. It was like Behind the Music series. I loved watching that series. You know?
Yeah,
so,
right. Yeah.
Because there's always story behind the story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true. Definitely. And thanks for having us. It's always a pleasure to come and talk to you. And definitely we'd love to come back, all 3 of us, and talk about the album in October. It'd be great.
Ladies and gentlemen, go out and check our website, www.avradio.org, and go to our Artist Spotlight of the Week. You will find Miccoli. And you also have been listening to Adriano and Alex